Okay, dear friends, I'm back. Today I'd like to go through the machine of Netmon. Which means the monitor, network monitor. So I have already spawned this machine earlier, and this is the IP address of the target. And I also, during the video, I'd like to use the Pentesting, which is online payload OS provided by the Hackthebox to do this penetration. So before we start today's video, if you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel and leave a like below. So this will help me very much. So without further ado, let's just get started. We can switch over to Hackthebox viewer, and as you can see, I have already done the Nmap scanning with options like scene scan, version scan, the default script scan, and also the comprehensive scan. And these are the results. There are several open ports, but I think what we are just interested in is some of them. The first one is 21, which is running FTP service. And from the version, we can know, the target is Windows. And also allow the anonymous login. So later we need to check on that in very detailed way. And the next one is 80, which is running HTTP service. And from here we can know, the target is running some sort of the PRTG. The PRTG is network monitor application or software. And the next one is 135, is some sort of the, related to the remote procedural core. And the next two are used by the Samba surface. And other port, I think we do not need to consider this. Okay, so what we are going to do next, as I mentioned in the other videos, if the target has a surface running like FTP, like Samba, such a surface need to become our first order of objective. Okay, so now we can log in to the target via FTP. And the username is anonymous, and the password no. And we can list the content here. I think from here we can know, we are now inside some home directory, but of course in Windows we will not call that anyway. And now we can go to the users and list the content. Nothing there. Go back. So maybe now we, also the Samba surface is open, right? Or it's running. And we can use the SMB client to see whether we can access this shell of the target. Let's hit enter. But I think we need to use the sudo. But to set up the access denied, which is fine. So I think now we need to make immersion for the web application. So fire up our browser of Firefox, and let's put the IP address into the address bar. Let's hit enter. As you can see, we can know, indeed, the target is running PRTG network monitor, and but we are required to be authenticated to use this application or software. At this moment, we didn't have any credentials information. So, but from here we can know the target is running PRTG network monitor, and for that application we need to do some research. We need to go to the configuration directories or location and to see whether we can find out some useful information, sensitive information, in other words. So how? I think the download. I think we can default directory. Yeah, should be here. Program data and Pesla PRDG. So because we have already logged in to the target via FTP, and so we can go back to our FTP session. Oh, we need to log in again because it's timeout. And now we can go inside the program data, list the content and the pay seller, and list files, and of course the spaces inside this file name. So I'd like to use the double quotes to include the whole file name. Of course, you can use the backslash, but this is my way to do this. And here, I think there's some. Now we are inside the PRTG default installations. For example, like configurations, logs database, and of course, you can walk through all files. You can get down all files, but to save time of video, I just get down this one, the backup file. You know, the back file always contains some useful information. We can paste in here, and now we can. Oh, the site cannot find the file. We can get. Maybe we need to use the double quotes to include the whole or the entire file name. Paste in here. This time should be okay. And now we can quit. We can cut, or maybe we can use the Vim editor, PRTG, and we just search the password information. As you can see, we got the username and the password, so we can make a note of this information in case we need later. And the username is PRTG admin, and the password PRTG admin 2018. So now I think since we have already got the credentials, and now we can log in. We can make a copy of the username and password, right? We don't need type in anymore. And the password, login. But login has failed. Please try again. So maybe the administrator has modified its password. But I think the pattern will remain similar. You know, this I think should be the year. And we can try like 2019. And if it's still not working, we can try 2020. But we can change it to 2019. Sorry about my voice. And paste in here and log in. It seems it's working. And from here we can know the installed version of the PRTG network application, and we can make research by search engine Google to see whether this version of PRTG has expired. It does have. And the first one, I have already opened up this GitHub repository, and you can clone the code or exploit from the GitHub to the Pilot OS. I have already done that earlier. As you can see here, CVE. So this is the what we got or downloaded from the GitHub, and we can navigate into this directory and list the content of this directory, and then we can run this exploit. Yeah, we need to specify the parameter or option. The first one is host or target. We know that. And the port number of the remote or the target is 80. And we need to specify the local host or Pilot OS IP address to this one. And we need to use the sudo, because if you do not use sudo, maybe it has some error. Python exploit. And the port number, local host, local port. I'd like to use 555, which is my favorite one. And I also, yeah, we are required to provide username. And we have already know that information. We can make a copy. And the password as well. Password is this one. Okay, let's hit enter to see whether we can get the shell. It looks like it's working. They generate the payload with MSF Vellum. The session obtained for this user. I think it now is uploading this payload to the target. Yeah, configure file passed, command staged successfully. And open up. Yeah, we have already got the command shell, and now we can go to the desktop. You know, always in window, for Windows target, in the CTF, like Pentesting, the root flag always located at the desktop. And we can go, because now we are administrator, dir, and go to the desktop, dir. Now we can or type or cat the root flag. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We have already retrieved the root flag and got the administrator's shell, okay, or command, whatever you call it. So I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.